So today we are brewing Matchlock Mild. We've not brewed Matchlock in about 2 years, so it's never been brewed on this kit. So in the lead up to today, we've had a couple of weeks of recipe design, just stripping the recipe right back to its basics and building it back up to fit this kit. Right, so I got into the brewery for 6, where we loaded up the hopper with all of our malts and started the mash about 7 o'clock. So when it's in the mash tun, we'll be putting in water and we'll be adding malts at the same time, which can be seen coming through the screw conveyor. Those two will combine in our hydrator at the top there and make a nice porridgey mixture. The goal for the mash is to make sure all the malts are fully submerged in hot water. We're aiming for the mid-60s overall. It's very important to have the right temperature, otherwise the enzymes that you want to activate don't activate and you don't end up with the sugar content and therefore don't end up with the alcohol content at the end. That's going to sit for about an hour now. Again, just letting the enzymes break down the sugars. And then in about an hour we'll come back and it should come out as a nice dark liquid. A moment of truth, yeah, that's a good mash. Hey, nice and dark. Brilliant. And that foaming is a good sign because we made a slight recipe alteration. And we added some oats to this brew to try and give it a better head and more body. From here, we're going to transfer it over into the kettle or the copper. To do this, I transfer an initial amount of what we now call wort or sugar water. And then there's loads of sugars and proteins trapped in between the malt layers. So I'm going to push really hot water, again about 75 degrees, downwards through the mash. This is called sparging. Once the kettle is filled up to the volume that I'm happy with, we will initiate the boil, and this is where we'll add our hops for bitterness. And right at the end of the boil, sort of 10-15 minutes from the end, we'll add some more hops, and these will impart aromas and flavours to balance out the maltiness of the beer. Following the end of the boil, I've let the brew kettle sit for about 10 minutes, and now I'm just very slowly, on the smallest setting I have on my pump, I'm recirculating just to then make all the hops that have sunk to the bottom suck onto the filter, and that will basically make extra layers of filter. So everything will have to go through the hops and hopefully that makes a nice clear beer. I've got about 2,400 litres to move across, so this is probably going to take me about half an hour, 40 minutes. And we'll chuck in the yeast and it's a go time basically. That's when the beer is actually made. It is as a style, a bit more of a traditional British style. It's roasty, it's dark, but it's a lighter alcohol. We're aiming for 3.8%. As milds go, this one's a cracking one. It's already won a couple of awards and I'd be keen to put it in for a few awards this year.